Namaskar, ladies and gentlemen. Today, with the blessings of Lord Shani, I am going to talk about his effects on your horoscope, his effects on your complete lifespan. Lord Shani was born in Jeshta Krishna Amavasya. It is said that after several thousands of years of worshipping Lord Shiva by Lord Shani, Lord Shiva granted him a place in the Navagraha, and that is why Lord Saturn is part of the complete solar system. It is one planet which is placed farthest from the sun in the solar system. Lord Saturn is the son of Lord Surya, Suryaputra, and his mother's name is Chaya, who is the second wife of Lord Sun. It is said that Lord Saturn had three sisters in the name of Tapti, Vrida, and Yamuna, and one brother in the name of Yamraj, who is also the god of the underworld, or betterly known as the Nark or the Hell. Lord Saturn is depicted as a dark complexioned man driving a chariot, often dragged by a crow. Sometimes he is also depicted as a dark person sitting on a buffalo with a bow and arrow in his hand. Suryaputram Lord Shani is also known as Ravi Nandanam, Shanishwara, or Shani Bhagwan or Shani Dev. Saturday is the ruling day for Lord Saturn, and when it comes to Vedic astrology, Lord Saturn rules Makar Rashi and Kumbh Rashi. Makar, that is Capricorn, and Kumbh, that is Aquarius. As Lord Saturn himself faced many difficulties in his life, he also went through many highs and lows in his life. Lord Saturn always praises and likes a person who is extremely hardworking, dedicated, and honest. It is said that Lord Saturn is the god of justice, punishment, and time. Lord Saturn is also a planet of masculine energy. Now, when I talk about punishment, it does not mean that Lord Saturn will punish you and you need to be afraid in your Shani Mahadasha or Antardasha or Pratintar Dasha. It is not like that. Lord Saturn, while deciding the punishment, he is extremely unbiased, and he does not favor anybody. He is extremely unbiased and he is extremely neutral in his decisions. Based on your past karmas, whether it is in this life or earlier births, the punishment is decided, and that is why many people complain that their sadesati is extremely time of struggle and difficult times for them. It is the results of your past deeds which come to you during Shani Sadesati. But while giving punishment, he is an extremely unbiased and a neutral god, and that is why he is also called as a god of punishment. Lord Saturn, as far as the wrong deeds are concerned, does not spare anybody. There are many examples of this. Lord Saturn did not even spare his father, Lord Sun, when he misbehaved or brought troubles to his mother, that is Chaya. And that is why in Vedic astrology, Lord Saturn and Bhagwan Surya are supposed to be staunch enemies. So, how does Lord Saturn punishes you for your wrong deeds? Historically, it has been seen that first Lord Saturn will make your brain weak, which will make your thinking capacity weak. And in that wrong moment, you will take a bad decision. For example, we have read the famous epic called as Mahabharata, when Draupadi insulted Duryodhana and when she hurted his false pride and his anger. The entire that false game was started by Duryodhan, as a result of which Pandavas had to leave their kingdom and go to Banvas during their Shani sadesati. Likewise, when Ravana, who was a great learned person, who knew all the Upanishads, who even knew astrology, when he came into his false pride, anger, overconfidence, mithya, Lord Saturn punished him. First, his mind became corrupt, and that is how he kidnapped Ma Sita and kept in his palace, as a result of which he had to face the wrath of Lord Rama and he gave up his life. It is also said that when Ravan made Lord Shani as his prisoner, Lord Shani was rescued by Lord Hanuman from the clutches of Ravana. When Lord Hanuman released Lord Shani was very thankful to Lord Hanuman and he asked that how he can return his favor to Lord Hanuman. Then Lord Hanuman only asked him one thing, that hey Lord Saturn, Bhagwan Shani, please take care of people who worship me, take away all the pains and miseries from their lives. So you will find that during the course of Shani Sadesati or Shani Mahadasha, and if you're facing a difficult time, many astrologers or many pandits in our, especially in India, in our temples will advise you to recite Hanuman Chalisa. जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छुटी बंदी महासुख होई is a line in Hanuman Chalisa which has a lot of depth and gravity. जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छुटी बंदी महासुख होई. So when you are running Saturn's Mahadasha, Antardasha, Sukshma Dasha, or even your Shani Sadesati, it is advisable to recite Hanuman Chalisa in full, especially on Tuesdays. If you can do that for more than 7 times, it will cut down your miseries, your pains, your obstacles in life to a great extent. Lord Shiva is the presiding deity of Lord Saturn, and it is also said and advised that during your Shani Mahadasha, you must also do the Mahamrityunjaya Jap, which is one of the most powerful japs in Vedic astrology, and it directly connects you to Lord Shiva. There are two colors associated with Lord Saturn, that is black and blue. Lord Saturn is a very slow moving planet. It completes the span of zodiac in approximately 29.5 years, which means that it stays in each Rashi for approximately 2.5 years. So you will find that in Saturn Mahadasha or its Antardasha or Sadesati, things to be progressing in a very, very slow manner. They do not progress in a fast manner. The results come in a very slow manner. And you have to be extremely patient during this time. Blue sapphire is the recommended gem for Lord Saturn, especially if you're of Kumbh Lagan and Makar Lagan, and Saturn is Lagnesh. That during the Lagnesh Mahadasha, it is often recommended that you wear blue sapphire, because what does the blue sapphire do? It basically clears out the confusion in your mind. It basically takes away all the confusions, all the misconceptions from your mind, and helps your mind to take the right decision. Lord Saturn gives profession and jobs related to farming, mining, agriculture, iron, steel, petroleum, minerals. If you're blessed with a good Saturn placed in a in an auspicious house like fourth house, then definitely you can become a good liar. You can become a judge in the High Court or the Supreme Court. Lord Saturn also denotes businesses and jobs related to consumer durables, your refrigerators, air conditioners, etc. It also gives opportunity to you to do businesses in refrigeration industry and, like I said, mining industry. It is a general feeling that Lord Saturn, when you're hit by the Mahadasha or the Sadesati or the Sukshma Dasha or the Antardasha, it's going to be bad for you. That's a general kind of feeling and fear amongst the people. But believe me, that's not the case. Like I said, Lord Saturn is the god of justice. They will not harm you. He will not harm you unless and until you have done some wrong deeds intentionally to a person. Any wrong deed which has been done unintentionally is pardonable by Lord Saturn. But any wrong deed you have done intentionally, you have brought harm to anybody, knowingly to that person, financially or even physically, you will not be spared in your Shani sadesati or in your Shani Mahadasha. And that is why you see people facing a lot of humiliation, loss of jobs, loss of business, many things. They go through a lot of miseries because ultimately they have to pay and they have to settle accounts in this life only. Of course, there are remedies also of Shani Sadesati, but it doesn't mean that if you have done something wrong below your Shani Sadesati started, and if you start doing the remedy in Shani Sadesati, the results will be magical. They will not be magical. You will have to go through that circle of life and that influence of Lord Saturn. But yes, by reciting Hanuman Chalisa, by reciting Mahamrityunjay Jap, by planting a jamun tree inside your house, keeping your northeast direction of your house decluttered, these things will help you with positive energies, and your physique, your mental physique and your physical physique will have that strength to take away I mean, you'll become strong to handle such situations. Lord Saturn will also show you the truthness of life during its period. Lord Saturn, as I said, is depicted as a dark complexioned man sitting on a buffalo holding a bow and arrow in his hand, and also sitting on a chariot which is dragged by a crow. So you'll find the pictures of Lord Saturn which depicts his character like this. A strong Saturn in your horoscope shows a good capacity and ability to endure the hardships of your life. During Shani Sadesati or Mahadasha, you will find that a person often becomes serious, and if it is he becomes serious, he becomes very disciplined, because Saturn also denotes discipline, your routine work, your self discipline, your austerity. Because when you get up in the morning, you freshen up, you do your exercise, you get ready for your office, you go to your office, come back, have your dinner, go for a walk, go to sleep. All these routine things are also the karak of Lord Saturn. So you will find becoming more disciplined, organized in Saturn period. Saturn is also a teacher, which makes you and which teaches you to be disciplined, which teaches you to be inside the boundaries, inside the restrictions of a society. So it builds you some kind of a boundary around you, that no, this is good and this is bad and you cannot go beyond that boundary. So it teaches you because Saturn is also a teacher. However, an afflicted Saturn may bring some problems to the ascendant, and it is found that when Saturn is badly placed or adversely placed in your horoscope, or its third, seventh, and tenth drishti from wherever it sits is creating problems, then you'll find that that person is not able to deliver the duties or his responsibilities or discharge his responsibilities in the best manner possible. For example, you will find maybe your father, who was a very noble person, but he fell ill, and while you were growing up, he was not able to do or deliver many things as a parent should. But the truth behind that is that he might be, his Saturn in the horoscope might have been afflicted, badly afflicted, that he was not able to discharge his duties properly. So never judge a person by his non performance, or never have such complaints about your near and dear ones that he did nothing for me. You never know that with which planet was he influenced and why couldn't he discharge his duties during his lifespan or lifetime. There must be a astrological reason for that. Yes, of course, people who are well to do and still if they don't do, then this rule does not apply on them. You cannot run away from your responsibilities and your duties, especially in the Shani Mahadasha or the Shani period. You have to discharge your duties and responsibilities. It also makes you, because it gives you that self discipline, it also makes you extremely dutiful in that period. The general mantra of Lord Shani is Om Sham Shanishcharaya Namah. It hails Lord Shani as son of Suryaputra and brother of Yamraj. And if this mantra is chanted with utmost sincerity, honesty, devotion, a lot of your problems is taken away by Lord Saturn. As I said, it is reciting Hanuman Chalisa is an extremely powerful tool to make you strong from inside, to boost your confidence. And I told you the logical reason for it, which is written in our books of history and Upanishads. Uh, I have seen many horoscopes, and when I find that Lord Saturn sits in the sixth, eighth, and the 12th house of the horoscope, it does not give very auspicious results. Sixth house is also the house of bad debts, bad health, enemies, रोग ऋण शत्रु. इन तीनों चीज़ों में बढ़ोतरी होती है अगर उनकी दृष्टि इस पे पड़ जाए या वो इस घर में बैठ जाए. और इन द eighth house, I have seen that when Saturn is sitting in the eighth house, and especially in Vrishchik Rashi. In Vrishchik Rashi, who's the lord of Vrishchik Rashi? Mangal, Mars. And in Vedic astrology, Mars and Saturn are staunch enemies. So in Vrishchik Rashi and in eighth house, if Saturn is placed, 99% of the horoscopes I have seen, they have immense problems with their legs, with their knees or with their calf or with their toes. Either it is fractured or somebody develops a diabetic gangrene, or even the death happens in the worst of the pain. If I was to believe the date of birth of Sushant Singh Rajput, the most talented actor, his Saturn was also placed in the eighth house in the Vrishchik Rashi. And what we could gather from the news channels, that yes, his legs were broken. The killers had brought the nails and had damaged his legs. And while his body was being taken from his place to the ambulance, his legs were hanging. So Saturn in eighth house is an indicator that it will definitely give problem in your legs, so much so that it may even become the cause of your death. Because eighth house also shows the house of death. Eighth house also shows the circumstances of your death, the reasons for your death. How will you die? When will you die? Although we don't encourage talking much about the eighth house because life and death are in the hands of God, but still, placement of Saturn in 6th, 8th, and 12th is not good. Why 12th is not good? 12th is the last sign of the zodiac. Apart from moksha and spiritualism, it is also the house of wasteful expenses. It is a house of financial losses, otherwise also losses. So if Saturn is sitting there, it is not supposed to be very good. But yes, if it is sitting in a friendly Rashi, for example, Vrishchik Rashi, number 2, Vrishchik Rashi, the lord of whose is Venus. And Venus and Saturn are supposed to be friends in Vedic astrology. So if Saturn is sitting in Vrishchik Rashi, but in house number 12, it will give bad results, but the results will be minimized because it is sitting in its friend's Rashi. But if it was sitting in the Singh Rashi, number 5, Singh Rashi, Lord is Surya, Bhagwan Surya. And Bhagwan Surya, Lord Saturn, do not get along well. So definitely it will not give good results. So these were my few analysis about Lord Saturn. Needless to say, do good to others because the good will come back to you in this lifespan only. You don't have to wait for the next life. Do good to others, it will come back to you. If you have liked this video, please subscribe and press the bell icon, and please share this video as much as possible. If you need any personal consultation on your horoscope, you can always call me back at 9742 881188. Thank you so much.